It's midnight and you're tuning in to Nightline with me, Nurin Razmyn. The top stories. October 10th deadline for MyJPJ digital ID login scrapped. And Iran braces itself for Zionist attacks on its nuclear sites. Good morning. Iran is bracing itself for likely Zionist attacks on its nuclear sites as the Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei on Wednesday urged the West to leave the Middle East. It came after Iran launched an unprecedented attack against Israel, firing a barrage of missiles at the country in the latest escalation amid weeks of soaring violence in the region. Khamenei met students and scientists in his first public appearance in Tehran since ordering a high-risk missile attack on Israel. He said while Iran was still in mourning over the assassination of Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah last Friday, the Supreme Leader stressed that being in mourning does not mean being depressed and sitting in a corner.
اساس مشکل که این درگیری‌ها و جنگ‌ها و نگرانی ها و دشمنی ها و اینا رو به وجود میاره، اساس مشکل ناشی از حضور همون کسانی است که دم از صلح و آرامش منطقه میزنن، یعنی آمریکا و بعضی از کشورهای اروپایی. شرشون رو از این منطقه کم بکنن، بدون شک این درگیری ها، این جنگ ها، این برخوردها به کلی از بین خواهد رفت. به کشورهای منطقه میتونن خودشون رو اداره کنن، منطقهشون رو اداره کنن.
Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, on Tuesday said that it fired missiles at Israel in response to deadly Zionist attacks against people in Gaza and Lebanon, as well as the assassinations of top IRGC, Hamas, and Hezbollah leaders. It also said the missiles were aimed at vital military and security targets aimed specifically at 3 military bases in the Tel Aviv area. According to Iranian local media, the attack, which was accompanied by a large-scale cyber attack, also employed Iran's new Fatah hypersonic ballistic missiles for the first time. However, Israel said its military had shot down most of the nearly 200 projectiles. Israel claimed that no casualties were reported, while 2 people were injured from falling shrapnel in the Tel Aviv area. After the strikes, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu promised that Iran would pay for its missile attack against Israel on Tuesday, while Tehran said retaliation would be met with vast destruction, raising further fears of a wider regional war. At the offset of a political security meeting, Netanyahu said Iran made a big mistake and will pay for it. However, as Washington expressed full backing for its longtime ally Israel, Iran's armed forces said direct intervention by Israel's supporter against Tehran would provoke a stronger attack from Iran on their bases and interests in the region. Meanwhile, world leaders have urged Iran and Israel to step back from the violence. After the wave of missiles, United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres condemned the broadening conflict in the Middle East. With Israel's conflict with Hezbollah broadening alongside its ongoing war in Gaza, Guterres slammed escalation after escalation in the region and called for an immediate ceasefire. Guterres' comment, however, led Israel's foreign minister to declare him persona non grata and barred him from entering the country. Meanwhile, Palestinian group Hamas praised Iran's attack on Israel. The group said they blessed the heroic rocket launches carried out by the IRGC in Iran against wide areas of their occupied lands, adding it was in revenge for the blood of their heroic martyrs. As the attack unfolded, U.S. President Joe Biden ordered the U.S. military to aid Israel's defense against attacks and shoot down missiles. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken also said the attack was totally unacceptable. Despite global calls for a ceasefire, fighting between Israel and Hezbollah continued into Wednesday. Israel renewed its bombardment of Beirut's southern suburbs with more than a dozen airstrikes against what it said were targets belonging to Hezbollah. Hezbollah said its fighters were engaging Zionist forces inside Lebanon, reporting ground clashes for the first time since Israel began pushing into its northern neighbor. In the meantime, Defence Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Khalid Nordin confirmed that the Malaysian battalion Malbat 85011 stationed in South Lebanon is confirmed safe with no casualties or asset damage. Khalid said that all Malbat 85011 personnel operating under the United Nations Interim Force, UNIFIL, had been reported to halt patrols and logistic movements. For safety reasons, UNIFIL had implemented bunker drills to ensure that its personnel remain protected until the situation stabilizes. Khalid added that any decision to withdraw Malbat 85011 personnel would depend on UNIFIL's assessment of the security situation. The Transport Ministry has agreed to scrap the October 10th deadline set for MyJPJ users to log into the application with a My Digital ID. Its Minister, Anthony Loke, said the decision was made following complaints from users which have been pouring in since Tuesday.
Jadi saya telah mengarahkan pihak JPJ supaya terus membenarkan pihak orang ramai akses kepada aplikasi MyJPJ ini seperti biasa. Okay. Tak ada tarikh akhir ataupun deadline sementara ini. Orang ramai akan boleh terus menggunakan aplikasi ini seperti biasa tanpa apa-apa gangguan.
He added that the pop-up in the application about the deadline has also been removed from the MyJPJ application and back-end integration would be made between the two applications. Vehicle owners have taken to social media to vent their frustration after facing difficulties registering their details with the MyJPJ application. Their frustration has intensified as under the new requirements, Malaysians without a My Digital ID can no longer log into the application starting October 10th. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim on Wednesday affirmed that Oracle's decision to invest $6.5 billion or 27 billion ringgit in Malaysia reflects the global company's strong confidence and commitment to the country's potential as a key gateway for cloud infrastructure. It also marks the company's willingness to support the growth of the regional artificial intelligence AI ecosystem in Malaysia. In a post on social media, Anwar said to date, 4 world-leading technology companies has announced their intention to invest in Malaysia, with the entire project involving an estimated investment worth $16.9 billion. Oracle's venture is set to be one of the largest single-tech investments in the country so far, outpacing Amazon's $6.2 billion planned spending, whereas Google on Tuesday hosted the official groundbreaking ceremony for its $2 billion data center in Sungai Buloh. In a statement, Oracle said the investment is aimed at meeting the increasing demand for AI and cloud services. The planned public cloud region will also help organizations in Malaysia modernize their applications, migrate all types of workloads to the cloud, and innovate with data analytics and AI. The investment is also a significant step towards realizing the country's new industrial master plan's ambitious vision of creating 3,000 smart factories by 2030. The 3-day visit by Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim to Pakistan from Wednesday is set to open a new chapter in the bilateral relations between the two countries, which have been established since Malaysia gained independence in 1957. Malaysian High Commissioner to Pakistan, Datuk Muhammad Azhar Mazlan, said the Pakistan government has high hopes for Anwar's visit to Islamabad, especially in driving diplomatic relations between the two nations to a higher level across various areas of mutual interest.
Kita kena lihat pasaran ini beyond Pakistan sahaja, dan mereka mempunyai hubungan yang rapat dengan negara-negara Arab. dan Arab Saudi contohnya, Emirates contohnya, adalah antara pelabur-pelabur yang besar di sini. Dan kita perlu menggunakan peluang ini untuk sama-sama melihat Pakistan sebagai salah satu negara yang mana kita boleh mengadakan hubungan pelaburan dan perdagangan untuk hari ini dan juga masa hadapan.
He added the government of Pakistan has also upgraded the Prime Minister's visit from an official visit to a state visit. Anwar has a packed schedule throughout his visit to Pakistan right from the time his special flight lands at Nur Khan Air Base in Rawalpindi. On the second day of his visit, the Prime Minister is scheduled to hold a bilateral meeting with his counterpart Shehbaz Sharif, followed by a bilateral meeting involving delegations from both countries at the official residence of the Pakistani Prime Minister. The bilateral meeting, to be held after the meeting between Anwar and his counterpart from Pakistan, is expected to examine various areas of cooperation, including trade relations, investment, education, and connectivity between the two countries. Both leaders are also scheduled to witness the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding (MOU) between the Malaysian External Trade Development Cooperation (MATRADE) and the Trade Development Authority of Pakistan (TDAP), as well as the MOU between the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission (MCMC) and the Pakistan Telecommunication Authority. Anwar will then deliver a keynote address at the National University of Sciences and Technology in Islamabad before being awarded an honorary doctorate in philosophy by the university. In the evening, the Prime Minister will also pay a courtesy call on the President of Pakistan, Asif Ali Zardari, at the Aiwan-e Sadr, the official residence of the President, where he will be conferred the highest civilian award of Pakistan, the Nishani-Pakistan. The Sultan of Selangor, Sultan Sharifuddin Idris Shah, and Johor Region, Tunku Mahkota Ismail Sultan Ibrahim, have agreed to that all parties should ensure that football rivalry should only remain on the field. The matter was agreed by both at a meeting on Tuesday after Tunku Ismail had an audience with Sultan Sharifuddin. The meeting also emphasized the need for mutual respect and unity off the football field. Sultan Sharifuddin and Tunku Mahkota Ismail shared their thoughts on unity among the people, professionalism in Malaysia, and the importance of a united royal institution in serving as a symbol of the country. The latest development puts an end to the intense rivalry between Johor Darul Takzim and Selangor after what has been described as unprecedented episode in local football in June involving Tunku Mahkota Ismail and Sultan Sharifuddin. The Health Ministry, MOH, has formed a special task force to probe into the death of a pathologist in Lahad Datu, Sabah, who allegedly committed suicide. Its Minister, Datuk Seri Dr. Zulkifli Ahmad, said the setting up of the task force is in line with the ministry's stance against workplace bullying. In a statement on Wednesday, Dr. Zulkifli announced that the task force will be chaired by the former Public Services Department Director General Tan Sri Borhandola and will comprise 5 independent experts, with the investigation set to begin on October 10th. The team will investigate if any bullying took place at Lahad Datu Hospital, specifically at the Pathology Department. The task force will also identify the types of bullying present within the ministry and examine the contributing internal and external factors. On August 29th, Dr. Teh Tian Ya was found dead at her home in Lahad Datu, with her death believed to be linked to workplace bullying. Taiwan shuts down as Typhoon Krathon approaches. This and more from the foreign front when Nightline returns.
Kau je dah 100 kg. Aku ni dah 100 kg. 200 kg tak payahlah nak terbang-terbang ni. Aku dah cuba lama dah tak naik-naik.
Kenapa kampung kita tiba-tiba kena serang bencana?
Saya tahu macam mana nak selesaikan masalah.
Ini kalau jaring saiz S ni, Maya Karim bolehlah terangkat. Aku lambat lagi.
Wanita hari ini. perlu ke jadi sempurna?
Kalau sampai tertekan tu tak bagus juga.
Rasa nak buat macam-macam. Tapi dah berusia lah.
Jangan jadikan usia sebagai alasan.
Kata adik-beradik tapi asyik bergaduh je.
Kan susah ke kalau saling memaafkan?
Kanser payudara kanser paling utama dalam kalangan wanita.
Kenali tanda kanser dan perkongsiannya bersama kami.
Fatin, kalau rindu dalam rumah tangga macam mana?
Apakah solusinya? Semuanya di Wanita Hari Ini TV3.
Dan stream sekarang ditonton.
Wanita Hari Ini.
Emission menarik minggu ini.
Hindari rasuah, perkasakan integriti dalam masyarakat.
Apa itu kontraseptif? Ketahui kesannya kepada pasangan suami isteri.
Ajaran sesat semakin membimbangkan di Malaysia.
Juga ketahui kesan pemanasan global, perubahan iklim dan monsun.
Untuk soal wang, apakah hak anda bila bercerita tentang insurans bencana?
Jangan lupa temu janji kita Isnin hingga Jumaat 9.30 pagi di TV3.
Juga stream melalui Tonton.
On to the foreign front, Thailand police have arrested the driver of a bus carrying young students and teachers that caught fire and killed 23 in Bangkok as families arrived in the capital on Wednesday to help identify their loved ones. According to the head of the police forensic department, the recovery work and confirmation of the total dead have been delayed earlier because of the burnt vehicle, which was fueled with natural gas, remained too hot to enter for hours. Meanwhile, the driver, identified by the police as Saman Chanput, surrendered on Tuesday evening, several hours after the fire. Police said they have charged him with reckless driving, causing deaths and injuries, failing to stop others and failing to report the accident. The driver, however, said he ran to grab a fire extinguisher from another bus that was traveling for the same trip but could not put out the fire and ran away because he panicked. Police said they are now investigating whether the bus company followed all safety standards. Over in Taiwan, schools were shut down and financial markets were closed on Wednesday as Typhoon Krathon pounded the country's south and east ahead of its expected landfall. In anticipation of the storm, the Interior Ministry said more than 10,000 people had been evacuated from vulnerable areas as a precaution. It added nearly 40,000 troops were on standby for relief efforts. All domestic flights and ferry services were also cancelled and around 250 international flights were suspended. Earlier, President Lai Ching-te had warned that the typhoon was likely to cause catastrophic damage and urged the public to be extremely vigilant. The typhoon, downgraded overnight to medium from strong, is expected to arrive near Kaohsiung or Tainan on Thursday morning. In the United States, at least 166 people were killed as rescuers continued their search for people still unaccounted for on Wednesday after Hurricane Helene caused catastrophic damage across the southeast. The North Carolina National Guard has rescued over 500 people so far, deploying helicopters to ferry in supplies and rescue workers, as well as rescuing survivors along the way. Many residents, however, were still without running water, cellular service and electricity as floodwaters receded. Meanwhile, cadaver dogs and search crews trudged through knee-deep muck and debris in the mountains looking for more victims. Hundreds of people have been reported missing, but the number is expected to decline as more telecommunications come back online and emergency workers are able to get into remote areas. Nightline claims first stage victory. The 2024 Le Tour de Langkawi right after this breather.
Wanita Hari Ini.
Perlu ke jadi sempurna?
Kalau sampai tertekan tu tak bagus juga.
Rasa nak buat macam-macam, tapi dah berusia lah.
Jangan jadikan usia sebagai alasan.
Kata adik-beradik tapi asyik bergaduh je.
Kan susah ke kalau saling memaafkan?
Kanser payudara, kanser paling utama dalam kalangan wanita.
Kenali tanda kanser dan perkongsiannya bersama kami.
Fatin, kalau rindu dalam rumah tangga macam mana?
Apakah solusinya? Semuanya di Wanita Hari Ini TV3
Dan stream sekarang ditonton.
Wanita Hari Ini.
Apabila datang, ia boleh mengambil alih kesemuanya tubuh, minda dan hidup anda. Stres bukan sekadar tekanan perasaan tetapi boleh mengancam kesihatan secara keseluruhan. Kenalilah tanda-tanda stres sejak awal dan bincang mengenainya secara terbuka. Dapatkan sokongan moral dan emosi daripada orang di sekeliling anda serta bantuan profesional di saluran yang betul. Saksikan Hello Doktor Ahad 5.30 petang di TV3.
Apa yang kelakar sangat tu, Kak? Ni tengah tengok drama baru dekat tonton ni. Macam seronok je cerita ni. Kalau nak tengok kat TV, boleh tak?
Boleh je, Mak. Cari aplikasi tonton. Dah jumpa tu, tinggal buat turun je. Dah buka tonton, tekan butang sign in, nanti dia keluar macam ni. Dia ada bagi link. Tapi nak senang, invest je kod QR ni. Masukkan je ID dengan password. Sekarang ni tinggal cari snack dan main drama.
Sports now, cycling, the 2024 Le Tour de Langkawi. After a slow start to the Tour, Tour de Pro's cycling Arvid de Klein finally became good in the fourth stage of the tournament as he claimed the checkered flag on Wednesday. The Stage 4, which started in Kuala Kubo Baru, Selangor and ended at Dataran Bentong in Pahang, covering a total distance of 131.2 kilometers, saw many riders still fatigued after the tough climb in Cameron Highlands and struggled in Wednesday's stage, which featured a Category 1 climb at the gap in Fraser Hill. Close to 20 riders missed the time cut and will thus not compete in the remainder of the Tour. Among the casualties include overall defending champion Simon Carr of the EF Education Easy Post team and national riders Terengganu Cycling Team sprinter Harif Saleh, Suhilmi Zainal of the Nusantara Cycling Team and Malaysia Pro Cycling duo Izzat Hilmi Abdul Halil and Fahmi Khairul. De Klein, however, kept his cool as he outpaced Stage 2 winner JCL Team Ukio's Matteo Maluselli to the line to clinch the win in 2 hours, 53 minutes and 37 seconds. Team Polti Cometa's Manuel Penalver completed the podium. DSM Fermenic Post NL rider Max Pole, who won the third stage on Tuesday, remained in charge of the green jersey as the general classification leader with a 6-second lead over JCL Team Ukio's Thomas Pezenti. The fifth stage, which starts in Kuala Lumpur and ends in Malacca on Thursday, will also be tough, with 3 categorized climbs in Ampang, Bukit Hantu and Bukit Matin. Tennis now, the 2024 China Open. Carlos Alcaraz roared back from a set down to beat world number 1 Jannik Sinner in a thriller match to win the title for the first time on Wednesday. The 4-time Grand Slam champion from Spain edged a captivating final 6-7, 6-4, 7-6 for his 4th ATP crown of the year and 16th overall. Alcaraz was love 3 down in the final set tiebreak but managed to fight back and win in 3 hours and 21 minutes. The dramatic triumph ended Sinner's run of 14 victories in a row and saw him deposed as the Beijing champion after an almighty fight. Man charged with murder of interior designer. The details when we come back.
Funny.
Kelakar.
Saya terhibur sangat-sangat. Ayah masa dekat atas pokok tu, Abang Ropi masa dia tengah feeling-feeling K-pop dia yang yang tak boleh nak terbang tu lah. Dekat betul dengan hati.
Saya paling suka yang part yang dia orang berlari tu.
Best lah cerita ni, like je. Jarang dek tengok Pontianak yang berat ni dek.
Ada plot twist. Saya bagi 10 bintang.
8 lah, 8.
9 kot sebab Pak Ropi.
Yes. 8.5.
Diving deep into the business world.
With expert insights and in-depth analysis.
The latest trends and developments shaping the country, region and the globe.
key insights into finance.
On Money Matters,
every Saturday at 5 p.m.
on TV3 and stream on Tonton.
MHR menarik minggu ini.
Hindari rasuah, perkasakan integriti dalam masyarakat.
Apa itu kontraseptif? Ketahui kesannya kepada pasangan suami isteri.
Ajaran sesat semakin membimbangkan di Malaysia.
Juga ketahui kesan pemanasan global, perubahan iklim dan monsun.
Untuk soal wang, apakah hak anda bila bercerita tentang insurans bencana?
Jangan lupa temu janji kita Isnin hingga Jumaat 9.30 pagi di TV3.
Juga stream melalui Tonton.
Welcome back. The federal court has upheld the death sentence on 7 Filipinos waging war against the Yang di Pertuan Agong during the Lahad Datu incursion 11 years ago. A 3-judge panel led by Chief Justice Tun Tengku Maimun Tuan Mat unanimously dismissed the review applications on Wednesday submitted by the 7 men. The accused are 60-year-old Datu Amir Baha Kiram, who is the nephew of the self-proclaimed Sultan of Sulu, Jamalul Kiram, 52-year-old Atik Hussein Abu Bakar, 49-year-old Basat H. Manuel, 59-year-old Virgilo Nemar Patulada, 68-year-old Al-Wazir Osman Tani Lahad Dahi, and Julham Rashid, aged 70 and 75. Previously, all the accused applied to have their death sentence reduced to imprisonment following the Mandatory Death Penalty Abolition Act, which took effect on July 4th, 2023. Justice Tunku Maimun, however, announced that the applications are dismissed and the death sentences are upheld. Earlier, she chaired the panel alongside Court of Appeal President Tan Sri Ama Abang Iskandar Abang Hashim and Federal Court Judge Datuk Nordin Hassan. In 2013, the armed incursion in which occurred in Sabah at Kampung Tando Lahad Batu between February 12th and April 10th resulted in the deaths of 9 Malaysian security personnel during clashes with the group. An unemployed man was charged at the Petaling Jaya Magistrates Court on Wednesday with the murder of an interior designer in Bandar Sri Damansara 2 weeks ago. However, no plea was recorded from the accused, 50-year-old Lim Wah Siong, as this case falls under the jurisdiction of the High Court. According to the charge sheet, Lim was accused of murdering 36-year-old Muhammad Shawaki Abu Bakar at 9 p.m. on September 14th in a condominium unit at Pasiaran, Meranti. The charge under the Penal Code carries the death penalty upon conviction. Magistrate Sharil Anwar Ahmad Mustafa fixed November 8th for case mention. Previously, it was reported that the victim was found dead with 20 stab wounds, including on his hands and head. Police investigations revealed that the incident occurred when the victim caught the suspect breaking into his home to steal, which led to a struggle that resulted in the murder. Selangor police have busted a drug trafficking syndicate with the arrest of 2 individuals in possession of over 10 kilograms of cannabis. The 2 suspects were arrested in 2 separate raids on a condominium in Petaling Jaya last Thursday. Shah Alam District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Muhammad Iqbal Ibrahim on Wednesday said police arrested a male aged 24 and a 19-year-old female at a condominium at its parking lot. 20 packages and 2 suitcases containing drugs believed to be cannabis worth over 38,000 ringgit were seized during the raids. Police also confiscated a Toyota GT86 worth 200,000 ringgit. Police checks revealed that both suspects are college students and had no prior criminal records. They were also tested negative for drugs. The syndicate has been renting the condominium for the past year and used it to pack drugs obtained from Thailand before delivering it directly to their customers. Both suspects have been remanded for 7 days starting last Friday. And that concludes Nightline this time around. Before we leave, let's take a look as the Hong Kong skyline dazzled with a colorful fireworks display as the city celebrated the 75th anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic of China. With that, I'm Nurin Razmyn. Thank you for watching and stay safe, Malaysia.